You ever wonder how they survived the Great Depression with no jobs, no money, and very limited access to groceries and supermarket items and stuff like that? My grandparents lived well into their 90s. My grandfather's actually 97 and still alive. My grandmother just passed away a few months ago, and they lived through the Great Depression. And I used to ask them all the time, Grammy, how'd you do it? She said, well, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard either. Today we're going over the grocery list that they used to use way back when. Stay with me. What's up, Warriors? It's Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. If you're new to 5 Elements Tactical Training, the channel is really like a school for people that are into the survival mindset, the preparedness mindset, and we cover a lot of things from self-defense to firearms training to wilderness survival training to emergency preparedness, among other things, gear reviews and all sorts of cool stuff. And recently, the videos that seems like they've been getting a lot of traction have been the emergency preparedness or the prepping, right? It's pretty crazy times, like worldwide right now, prices are going through the roof, and it's hard to find food, and it's hard to find a lot of supplies. Like lumber is insane, gasoline is insane, ammunition, if you're a gun person, is insane, and a lot of the things that even you're willing to pay that crazy price, you can't find it. And for a lot of people that are new to prepping, like if you're into prepping for beginners, well, welcome aboard. It's some people will say that it's too late. That's never true. We say if I feel pain, then I'm alive. If I'm alive, then I can fight. And if I can fight, then I can win. And if you're kind of in this oh my God, prices are insane. And I've been to the store and the shelves are empty, or I can't find this, or I can't find that. And I really think I need to start stocking up on stuff. Well, welcome to the party. So we're going to go over some ideas today on things that they had in the Great Depression that helped them get through the Great Depression. And again, Grammy said it wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard. So we're going to go over some simple stuff and some simple grocery items lists, and stick around. So having grandparents that lived through the Great Depression and understood the value of stretching a dollar and not wasting money and not buying stuff that you couldn't afford, or just the idea of man, rough times could come at any time. And they kind of learned lessons that I think we've forgotten over the years. I know that there were a few times when I was younger that my parents were in a tight spot and money was very, very tight. And my mom had resorted back to a lot of the recipes that she grew up on because my grandmother had never let go of that mentality of no, we shop on sale. We don't order out. That costs a lot of money. We got to, save our money. And it was just a mentality that if you had lived through something like the Great Depression, I don't think that's something that you would forget very easily. My wife's mom, same situation, went through some pretty hard times where they had less than no money, and same shopping list, same recipes, same mentality, and that's what we're going to cover today. One of the easiest ways that my grandmother described it to me was buying stuff that didn't go bad and learning how to cook. In a nutshell, you ready for this? My wife and I love these Keurig coffee pods, right? Now each one, when we buy them in bulk, is 50 cents for 1 cup of coffee. When I buy this at Costco or Target or Walmart or wherever, it's $7 or $8 for this huge thing, which will make, 200 cups of coffee. When I was a police officer in uniform, I got free coffee all the time. When I became a detective and started working in plain clothes, no more free coffee. And I couldn't believe how much coffee cost. So what I did was, I remember I went to Target and I bought this thing for 20 bucks. That's about 6 or 7 years ago, and I use it every day. I make 1 pot of coffee every morning. My pot of coffee fills this thing and my travel mug. So this I think was about 20 bucks. This was about 10 bucks. And then this $8 jug of coffee will make, I don't know, I should do the calculation, but it's dirt cheap. And I drink my coffee black. No milk, no sugar, just pour it in the cup and let me drink it. Point of the story is, when I was buying like 7-Eleven coffee at $3 a cup or Dunkin' Donuts at $3 a cup, I refuse to spend money on Starbucks for $5 a cup. That's insane. But that's part of that same mentality. So a lot of it comes down to choices, not just the choice between ordering out, but even when you order in, or make it at home rather, well, there's this for 50 cents or this thing for $8, which will make, oh my God, 200 of these. You understand? My kids love these little pudding things. Now, I'm not sure how much they cost in the store. My wife could probably tell you to the cent. But I know that she'll buy them only when they're on sale. So that's, again, making the dollar stretch a little further. But when I think to Grammy's kitchen, Grammy just had the boxes of pudding and the boxes of Jell-O. Like when my kids had this in like Jell-O cups that are already made from the store, my grandmother would have done that. She had these pretty little bowls and she made it look all fancy, and she'd take a can of like fruit cocktail and put it in the middle of the Jell-O. And that Jell-O that she was making was a fraction of the cost of one of these things. So again, they had stuff that would stay good in the cabinet for, I don't know, years, I guess. And then when you want it, she would make it. It wasn't ready to go right now. She would make it in the morning. So when you got home from school, man, we could have Jell-O or we could have pudding. And it cost cents on the dollar compared to the stuff that we're used to having now. Looking back, all the years growing up, like in my grandmother's kitchen, she didn't have like fancy ready to go mac and cheese. She had macaroni and she had cheese, and she would make mac and cheese. When I looked in her cabinets, she would have flour and sugar and salt and breadcrumbs, and she could cook anything out of that stuff. And she bought it again when it was on sale. It lasted on the shelves, in the cabinet, in the pantry, in the basement for really long stretches of time. And the money that she would spend like on the, oh man, we're gonna eat good tonight, would be on like meat items, which went in the freezer because she wouldn't buy it at full price. That's insane. Another thing that Grammy always said was that during the Great Depression and the years that followed, they became masterful at stretching meals. So if they had made sauce, let's say, they would make pasta or rice or beans. If they had a piece of meat, it wasn't just a piece, like we didn't all get a steak. There was a steak which the whole family ate, and the way to like stretch the meal was to add rice or beans or pasta. Or if they were able to get vegetables, they would. Other times they had stuff that was in cans, again, that lasted a long, long time, and that they could get it in the seasons when fruits and vegetables weren't in season. How often when you're running out the door do you grab like some of this stuff? I'm from New York, so some of it maybe, I don't know if you have it where you're at, but like it is such a common habit to like run to the deli and grab a bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll sandwich for like $3 or something like that. Grammy's mentality is no. We have oatmeal, we have farina, we have grits. You want something quick? Well, we have Cheerios. And again, all that stuff she bought on sale. All that stuff lasted in the cabinet for a really long time. And all of that stuff you would get, think of how many bowls of oatmeal are in this thing that you get for like, same thing, $7 or $8. Which if I told her I spent $7 or $8 on this, she'd say, what, are you crazy? What, did you get it on sale? Did you use a coupon? That's why you have no money, David. Now, we did a few videos recently on a lot of the scary times that seem like they're coming, right? So right now, groceries are insane. There are cargo ships that can't get into the United States. There are truckers without like loads of stuff to bring wherever it's got to go, and empty shelves. Prices are through the roof and you can't get it. Scary times, right? Well, I had some of the subscribers putting some pretty cool comments and some interesting questions. And we're New York Italians, so we're pretty specific on when I brought home Walmart pasta. My wife was like, we're not going to eat that, right? I said, it's pasta, man. Because we're a little bit snobby, I guess, when it comes to our pasta. We like this one. We like this one. My kids would like kill each other over this one. The point is, though, this 3-pound box of pasta at Walmart was $1.50. $1.50. Now, you want to get even more crazy? Check this out. Now again, we're Italian. We don't eat pasta from a jar that you get at a store. We can our own tomatoes and we make our own sauce from our own tomatoes that we made. We don't grow them in the garden. At least not this year we didn't. So this jar of, I'm curious to taste it, is Walmart brand tomato basil garlic. If if Granny was here, she would just throw it straight in the garbage. Point is, this was $1. This was $1.50. This thing of grated cheese, which again, how is this compared to like what we're used to eating? It's probably not the same, but you could survive on it. So talk about a meal for under $5 that would feed your whole family. $1.50 for 3 pounds of pasta. There'd be leftovers that you could make, you know, other meals with tomorrow. You could heat it up in the microwave or in the pan or in the stove on the stove with a $1 something jar of sauce and a $2 something thing of grated cheese, and that's a meal. These cans of Walmart brand peas were 50 cents. Now, the Fufu brand, the brand that we like, Del Monte, that was like $1.20 or something like that. So if you wanted to go crazy and get $1.20, and I went with the more expensive jar, which is made by a brand of tomatoes that I know that when we don't make our own tomatoes and we're going to make our own sauce, we get the Tutto Rosso a lot of times. So if you went for the $1 can and the $2 thing of sauce and the more expensive thing that if you get it on sale, it's $1, it's still under $5. And that's the mentality. So one, a lot of people are saying, oh my God, if I just start prepping now, how am I, like, what if? All the what if questions about like, what is on the horizon for us as a country, as a, you know, globally. I mean, things are it's very hard to find a lot of items such as food. And the prices are insane. So if you start stocking up on stuff now, get some like flour, salt, sugar, spices. Get a cookbook. I mean, there's tons of videos on YouTube, but get like an old school cookbook and practice cooking. Just like, hey, if you watch the survival videos, you learn how to like make a fire by practicing how to do it. If you're watching the self-defense videos, you'll learn how to like get your guard up and defend yourself by practicing it. Watch some stuff, practice with somebody, learn how to do it. Make some fun family time and like make some recipes. And some might turn out bad, eat them anyway. Pretend it's after the apocalypse and you like, hey man, it might suck, but we got to survive, right? And you tough it out together. The point being is, all this stuff you could find at your local grocery store. Usually, I like to shop at Walmart. I like to shop at Target. I like to shop at the big box stores like Costco, BJ's, things like that, where things, you might have to buy a 25-pound bag of rice, but per pound, it's way cheaper and it'll last a long, long time. So what's on a grocery list? Flour, sugar, salt, breadcrumbs, lots of pasta, lots of beans, lots of rice, lots of things that will stretch a meal a long, long way. Lots of types of cereal. Again, hey, oatmeal, boxed cereal, that the expiration date on here is a year from now. And that's a best by date, not an expires by. You could eat it long after that. Things like peanut butter, things that last a long, long time, that when you find it on sale, stock up on it, especially if it's stuff that you know that you eat or your kids eat or your family eats. It's not going to go to waste, and rotate it just like you would do in a grocery store. You get new stuff, put that behind the old stuff. Bring the old stuff to the front of your pantry or the front of your shelves or the front of your prepper closet or whatever you got going on. Eat the stuff that you have that's the oldest and replace the stuff that's in the back. And ultimately, it really comes down to a mentality of making choices. So, do you have to go for like the no-name brand, even though it's probably the same exact stuff, just because it's not, you know, Del Monte or Contadino or whatever it is, it's going to sell for less because people are like, no, I want the more expensive one because I recognize the label. Whatever. You make the choices that are best for you. If you think like your kids, you know they're not going to like the Walmart brand mac and cheese, then don't get that one. Wait for the one that they like goes on sale and buy as much as you can because you know you're going to go through it. It's one thing to know what you guys are going to eat. It's another thing to learn how to stretch the dollar by making sure that you're buying on sale and you're stocking your shelves as best as you can whenever you can. Even if it's $10 every time you go to the grocery store or $20 every time you go to the grocery store. Especially right now while prices are just climbing and climbing. Stock up where you can when you can. Go to the stores where it's already a little bit cheap, then look for the sales or get the coupons on top of the sales. I'm not the best at that, but I'm getting better as I go. And then you really want to learn how to like make do, practice. My grandfather's 97 and he will take a bouillon cube, some pastina, that's a little pastas shaped like stars, water, and an egg. And he'll make this soup with, again, what does it cost? Like, this is probably $1 for a whole pound of pasta, and he doesn't put the whole box in there, maybe a quarter of it or a third of it, a small pot. He'll make plenty of soup for me, him, and my kids with a bouillon cube, some pastina, and an egg or two. So what does that cost for a meal? Meanwhile, if he took us out to McDonald's or we took him out to McDonald's, what does it cost to feed 5 kids or 5 people McDonald's? It's insane. In New York, it's very insane. But again, you stock up on rice, beans, pasta, oatmeal, cereals, and like the basic ingredients that you would use to cook a lot of other things. Man, Grammy always had some sort of canned chicken, canned tuna, canned turkey, canned ham. Was it the best? No. But she could whip up a meal in no time with stuff that she just had in the cabinet without even having to go to the fridge. Ramen noodles. Are these the healthiest things? Hell no. But for like literally, what is it, 25 cents, 50 cents? Hey, my kids, I don't even know how we fed this to them first and they went nuts over it. And then we had to I had to dig this out of the back of the cabinet because I know we have it for like when it hits the fan and we're running low on whatever. I know that there's stuff that we could eat. But again, if you've ever been like, a college kid with no money and, this was like, hey, that's a meal for 25 cents. Where else are you going to find a meal for 25 cents? Is it the healthiest thing? No. But could you survive on it? Absolutely. There's nothing on this table that they didn't have way back when. In fact, when they were lucky and they could get their hands on some meat, even if it wasn't the best cut of meat, even that they would conserve. They'd say, oh, let's freeze a little bit, or let's cook enough of it that it'll last for a long time. Or families used to live all very close together, so maybe today Grammy's family would cook something, and the next day Aunt Sadie's family would cook something. So it wouldn't be just for like her. It would be like, well, we'll feed our family and the extended family, and tomorrow they'll cook and they'll kind of cook for us. Which again takes us back to times that I really hope are not coming again, but it sure feels like they're coming again. And for my friends and family and subscribers and fans and all you guys that are out there following this stuff, a lot of the traction or a lot of the videos that are taking traction on the channel have been the prepping ones. And a lot of you guys are new subscribers that came over here for the prepping stuff. So some of you guys that are like, I'm not here for the martial arts, I'm not here for the gun stuff or the survival stuff. Well, one, whatever you're here for, I hope that you're enjoying the content, and I appreciate all you guys that have been like spreading the word and helping people get ready for what we say. Pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I hope that nothing but good times are ahead, but we kind of have to be ready for if they're not. And if you're here for the prepping stuff, well, a lot of the self-defense and the firearm stuff and the survival stuff, that's all part of the prepper mentality also. You should learn how to, if your neighbors know that you have like food and there comes a time that they don't have food but they know you have it, they might come looking to you to take yours. So the next level up from like having some sort of prepper pantry is, what's your means for defending it if people that wanted to come take it from you and you didn't want to give it to them? What's your plan for that? And I don't want to scare you. I just want you to understand the gravity of what the world has turned into before, and I hope is not coming, but it sure seems like is coming. So on that note, if there's anything that I'm missing here, or you have any sort of like Great Depression stuff, or like grocery list item or pantry item, let me know. Because I went with the stuff that we have in the house that, we've kind of adopted that mentality from my parents, my wife's parents, my grandparents, and, I've been prepping for a long time, and I've asked them for a long time, like, there've been times before when it seemed like hard times were coming, never quite like this, at least not that I remember. So, I like to think that I've been prepping for this for a while, yet I feel like I'm still not very prepared. So if you're just starting out, don't feel bad, just get started, And if you've been prepping for a long time, do you feel like you're good to go? Or do you feel like it depends on how long the bad times last will depend on how good to go you really are, right? Anyway, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and a little thing where it says all notifications so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.